What's good, gamers? We're back at it. It's been a lot of days. I don't know how many days, but it's been many days. We've just been working on getting that money, getting it all together. This is the sub versus dub of episode 31. Pretty sure it's 31. Almost near positive it's 31. Let me make absolutely sure. Yeah, sub versus dub of episode 31. If you don't recall from last time, uh, Goku ran into this town after being led there by a boy that stole his clothes. He found a shop that was, you know, uh, that had fake Dragon Balls. Pilaf purchased one of those fake Dragon Balls. He walked out with it. Goku's like, "You have this Dragon Ball." Pilaf fled. Goku followed him, and that's where we left off. A bird flew off with the real Dragon Ball that everybody was trying to find. Um, Let me pull up the notes. I wrote a lot for this episode. Um, Probably too much, actually. I have a note right off the rip, but first, the title screen. In the dub, it's wedding plans, question mark. In the sub, it's yikes, a fake Goku appears. Um, okay, so in both the sub and the dub here, the name of the mysterious man, Colonel Silver, that's the redheaded dude, and the army with the RR on them, it's Red Ribbon. It's the Red Ribbon Army. It's a ribbon with two RRs on it. You had to know. You had to know. But their identities are both revealed just before we get too far ahead. I wrote down in here on the uh, on the storefront where Pilaf bought the Dragon Ball. Uh, Written across it was Cuadro Joya, which is Spanish for jewel box. That's the name of the store that they bought the ball from, the fake one. Um, uh, Goku notices that the Dragon Radar isn't working. He sees that the Dragon Ball is actually moving away from where Pilaf's ship is, but he's like, I'm not worried about that. I don't need it. I know that it's there. Um, Meanwhile, Pilaf and Mai and Shu are all like trying to figure out what to do. They just dropped the fake Dragon Ball, and it shattered. I will note that on both the Hulu streaming service and the Blue Box, this episode is like unnecessarily bright. Like it gets washed out at points. I think the blue bricks, uh, these these guys, provide a slightly better quality somehow. But watching it on Hulu was like horrific. It was just so bright. Um, anyway, Goku rolls up to the ship. He's like, I want my grandpa back. Pilaf goes to open the window to tell him off. If we remember from the last time that Pilaf opened the window, it creates a big suction and it sucked him out of the window. He flew out. Shu and Mai didn't go after him. They just let him fly out the window. So, ulterior motive there, I guess. But Pilaf began falling through the sky. Goku was like, "You have to promise to give me back my grandfather." Um, Specifically, he thinks that the four-star Dragon Ball like represents his grandfather. I'm not sure if that's a dub specific thing, but in the sub he like recognizes that it's a memento after being told that it's a memento. Um, but in the dub, he refers to the four-star ball as his grandfather pretty often. Anyway, Pilaf's falling through the sky. He's like, just fucking leave me alone. I'm not giving you the ball. And then he looks down and he sees how quickly the Earth is approaching, and he's like, never mind, never mind, never mind. It's fine. I'll give you the ball back. It's okay. Just save me. Uh, Goku does. Takes him back up to the ship, and up there, Shu and Mai are repairing the ball. Um, they get it all glued together. Goku goes to grab it. They're like, gentle. You have to be very gentle with this. They hand it off to Goku, push him away. They're like, just get the fuck out of here. They jet, kind of like leave Goku in their midst, and he fumbles, drops the ball. It starts falling through the air. And after he catches it right near the ground, it shatters. So he's like, that's weird. Oddly cheerful for thinking that his grandfather that's trapped inside this ball just fucking shattered into a million pieces. Chichi looks like a fucking alien here. We cut to Chichi, and she's kind of just daydreaming about Goku, you know. She's like, "Oh, I sure wish he would come by and visit." Um, and Ox King's like, um, Ox King's like, do you really care this much about this boy? And Chi-Chi's like, well, we are meant to be. So he, uh, in the sub specifically, he calls her the old lady. Um, Let me see if I wrote anything specific for her. Um, Old woman. He calls her a diviner in the sub, whereas in the dub, she's just an old lady who fancies herself, you know, a psychic. I think is the exact terminology he used. But he brought Chi-Chi to the psychic. She does her psychic thing, notices an ant, and out loud says, coming closer, to which, okay, to which the Ox King interprets, and Chi-Chi interprets, as Goku's moving closer. Whereas she was just kind of talking about the ant, and they picked up on it. It's very like standard psychic practice to just say stuff and hope that people pick up on it. Um, and you know, sometimes people do, and if you get value out of that, good for you. I'm not shitting on you for it. Uh, anyway, she says Goku's coming closer. Uh, Chi-Chi's like, oh, he's coming to make me his. Uh, to which Ox King's like, aren't you young for that? And Chi-Chi says, love knows no age. Uh, he says, oh, well, I guess I have to go prepare the nuptials. And Chi-Chi's like, what are nuptials? And Ox King says, well, naturally, you're my daughter. We have to throw you a grand wedding. So he sets off. He's a very excitable dad. He loves his daughter. We love that. Anyway, he sets off to go like prepare a big marriage for him, for them. We cut to Colonel Silver flying through the air, tracking this bird that flew off with the Dragon Ball. And right as they're about to close in on it, a dragon eats it. And then right as that dragon eats the bird that's carrying the Dragon Ball, the Ox King throws a gigantic fucking boulder and knocks the dinosaur out of the air, and just starts walking off with it. To which Colonel Silver and his goon squad are like, I guess we're fucked. Take evasive maneuvers, because they notice Pilaf's ship heading in. So they're like, We might not be well enough equipped for this. Um, we cut to Pilaf and his crew. Um, they find out that Ox King has the dinosaur that has the Dragon Ball inside of it. Pilaf's like, I don't care who he is, I'll kick his ass. And then Shu um, drives home the point that Ox King was known as the. Let me see if I can find the exact quote for it. Ox King was known as the Emperor of Demons, to which Pilaf kind of sinks in his seat, and he's like, "Oh well, you can't pick your fights, I guess." Um, and then we get the mid card. I'm just looking back over my notes real quick, seeing if I missed anything. Um, the diviner, the psychic, she ate the ant that was moving closer to her. I don't know if I mentioned that, but she ate the ant. Specifically in the sub, um, when Pilaf was like shooing Goku away, he said "hurry" and "vamoose," which was really specific terminology. Um, Specifically in the sub, when the Ox King grabbed the dinosaur, he said, "This will make for huge yakitori." And I think that's about the full differences that we have from sub to dub. I'm verifying this now. Um, Let me pause. Okay. Same joke in sub versus dub. In the sub, we saw this with the tournament arc as well. Um, Pilaf read the sign as "Welcome Mago Gasoro sama," uh, to which Shu corrected him. He said, "Isn't that meant to be Son Goku?" Um, just play on words. Um, because it can be both, I guess. I don't know Japanese well enough to like really be speaking from my chest here, but that's what I read. Um, Whereas in the dub, um, Pilaf says Gakua, uh, and then Shu corrects him and says, "Isn't that supposed to say Goku?" Um, so same joke, different language. Uh, anyway, they decide that um, they're going to pretend to be Goku. Um, okay, different joke there as well. I'm gonna see if I can just pause this. Yes, okay. Catching up. Uh, Shu, Pilaf, Mai all see that they have this big welcome banner for Goku because Ox King has kind of gathered the village that he's living in. This peaceful village, mind you. He's given up his ways of going and, terrorizing people just because his master, Roshi, scolded him for it. Um, Roshi was like, "You're a big brute. Stop fucking hurting people." And naturally, Ox King was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, I'll stop doing that." And then he did. So good for him. Anyway, they decide they're going to disguise Shu as Goku. The image does not show up very well here, but it's like a plastic head. If you've seen the movie Frank, it's close to that. If you haven't seen the movie Frank, go watch it. Uh, anyway, uh, there's one joke that has slight differences here. In the sub, um, Shu speaks and Pilaf corrects his dialect, I guess. He says, uh, don't say watashi, he says ora, which I guess are two different ways to introduce yourself. Um, whereas uh, in the dub, he shits on Shu for his voice. He says you sound nothing like Goku. So I guess Shu's more likely to put on a Goku esque voice here. Um, I think there's more focus on the actual like linguistics in the Japanese version versus in the English version. There's more focus on the like actual sound of the voice. Um, okay, we're caught up. Um, Shu does not want to be doing this. He's not excited for it. Um, Ox King super excited to welcome Goku. Uh oh, also in that specific moment, I don't know if I will be able to capture it. Um if you look at Shu's tail, it's absurdly fluid. Like I'll let me see if I can just point to it. Right right here, it's extremely fluid animation. Like for no reason too. Dragon Ball's not known for having like super flowy fights. It's like a comedy gag anime for half the time, and for the other time it's shonen, so it's more like fast movements. It doesn't really need to be fluid. Uh, but that one specific moment stuck out to me. Um, I'll point it out to my spouse a little later and see what they think about it. Um, anyway, Goku, Pilaf, and my Goku in quotation marks, Pilaf and my land. Um, and Ox King falls for the disguise. Like he's completely fooled. I don't know if it's those goggles on his head or maybe he's gotten old, but um, he's super fooled. I'm just looking here. The the blue bricks are like way less washed out than the Hulu version. Um so I don't know what's up with that. Like maybe it's the different TV settings that I have, but cuz I am watching them on two different sets. But for some reason the physical disc is way better quality. And it's not like Blu-ray or anything. Um, they have just held up better than whatever masters the streaming people are using. Um, anyway, catching back up, minor joke. Um, Ox King asks who Goku's compatriots are. In the sub, they say they're his friends. In the dub, they say they're his cousins. Um, we see Goku flying through the air. He sees a tree. He lands in the tree, starts eating some apples, looks out towards the water. He sees a girl picking flowers. That girl's Chichi. He calls out to her from the tree. She's like, "Hi," and then gives him the flowers. And she, tells him about the marriage, I guess. And he's like, eyes completely blank. He's not taking any of it in. He's thinking about his food, which he shares with Chi-Chi. He pulls a apple out of his gi, and they eat apples together by the water. Um, they are gathered in the they're gathered in like what can only be described as a banquet hall. Um, and naturally, all three, uh, Shu, Mai, and Pilaf are plotting to try to get this Dragon Ball. They force Shu to say that he's hungry. He does, and Ox King's like, food now. He doesn't say that verbatim, but this is pretty close. Um, he makes a toast to his new son-in-law, Goku. Um, in the dub, he says cheers. In the sub, he says kanpai. Uh, Ox King said, if there's anything you ever need, just let me know. Um, very, like, very meaningless interactions here. Uh, if you couldn't tell by my yawn just now. Every time I'm down here, I start yawning. Um, I don't know what it's about. Anyway, Shu and Pilaf were talking to themselves, um, in like a hushed voice, and Ox King leans down and is like, "Let me in on your secret." um, and then kind of just has pleasantries with Shu as Goku. Um, and then like cracks a joke and slaps Shu on the back of the neck, throws him into a wall, and the head falls off. So Pilaf distracts him and says, "Look, a flying pig." Um, and they put the like fake head back on Shu because it fell off when he hit the wall. And it's on backwards. But they don't have enough time to react because shells start blowing in the walls. Um, Ox King's like, they have a lot of fucking nerve uh, trying to ruin my little girl's wedding. So he grabs his little axe. I say little, but it's gigantic. He grabs his axe and starts running towards the tanks, and he's just shredding them. He's fucking the tanks up. Uh, uh, yeah, they don't really know what to do until Colonel Silver pulls out a fucking grenade launcher, and it shoots a beam at him, um, and it looks like gum covers his eyes, and then they shoot a net at him, and they've captured the Ox King. That's all it takes. Blind him and then throw a net over him, and you're good to go. Um, anyway, they capture him and give the order to storm the village and find the Dragon Ball. Pilaf has already stepped inside the beast, the dinosaur, and pulled the Dragon Ball out, and now he's running towards the ship. Colonel Silver and his goon squad somehow like find him as he's running and see that he's got the ball, and they chase him, and he makes it into the ship and like goes to take off. Colonel Silver as well, fucking ripped, huge nips. Um, I don't really have a good transition. I wanted to say speaking of huge nips, but that's terribly inappropriate. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, difference in the dub versus the sub. In the dub, Chichi tells Goku when they get married, she wants a really big family. Whereas in the sub, she says, I think she's just running through like the vows. She says, when you call out with "oi," I'll say "hi." Um, so I guess just letting Goku know that she'll be at his beck and call. Um, they both notice smoke coming out from like the mountains, and Chichi says, "That's my village." Uh, uh, um, to which Goku says, "All right, let's go." Calls Nimbus over. They both hop on. Reminder here that Chi-Chi is worthy to be on Nimbus. She might be a little like Goku crazy, I guess, but that doesn't make her not pure-hearted. Um, so there you go. That's the end of the episode. They head off towards the village, and we have to wait for the next one to find out what's about to happen. Um, yeah, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, do the YouTube things. So that's like, comment, subscribe, bell icon. Um, Let me know if there's anything you want from this series specifically. If there's anything that you want me to be on the lookout for. Um, with this, I'm trying to make like character comparisons. I want to know how they differ. Um, like Goku's a little more of a redneck airhead, uh, borderline moronic, in the sub, whereas in the dub he's just like kind of a child. Um, but he seems more grown in the sub for some reason. I don't know. If there's anything else you want, let me know. Bye.